So, it's been a minute. Did you miss me? Well, hello there, everybody. I'm Photo Dave, or Dave for short, and this is Toypixx, a channel dedicated to helping you and helping me get a whole lot better at our action figure photography. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and click subscribe while I describe what's going on in this video. In this video, we're actually going to skip the photography stuff because it's been so long. I thought, man, what am I going to talk about? What can I possibly talk about? Because there's been so much that's happened, so much that's released, stuff that I don't even know where to go from here. But I came up with something and I decided I'm going to talk about what I plan to focus on as far as Toypixx is concerned in 2023. So, let's hop to it. So first things first, where the crap have I been for oh so long? Here it is, folks. I've been learning how to build things as far as business and all that. I understand how to build other types of businesses, but when it comes to this, I do want Toypixx to be a pretty decent income stream. So I've been kind of looking at it and thinking, duh, I know how to do this with other stuff. Why don't I do this with Toypixx? So what you're going to see is a whole lot of Toypixx all over the social media. You're going to see more shorts and reels and all that good stuff. You're going to see, Pinterest pins, because that's a great way to market. I'm going to be working on the website a lot more. And I'm going to be building a newsletter. I already have a newsletter, but I haven't done crap with it. Though I did realize that I've got like 15 people that have subscribed, so that's cool. And if you're one of those 15, sorry. Don't worry, I'll get to it though. But that's what's taken the time, is not just Toypixx, but other business I've been working on to do all that stuff to really start loading up on the followers, the mailing lists, all that. Not to necessarily sit down and just sell everybody a bunch of stuff, though there will be a figure shop on the website, but more just so I can keep in touch with people and let them know what's going on with Toypixx, let them know about the latest videos, let them know about the latest pictures. And that's something else. If you've been following me on other channels, you've seen that I've been posting a lot of pictures without a whole lot of background. Things have slowly been moving back up to my place. So that's going to be fun when I get back there. It's supposed to be the first or second week of January. But that's what's going on. A lot of stuff is heading up there. That's why I don't have my fancy backdrop even. So there you go. That's basically what I've been working on, because I want to make this a viable business. I needed to learn a little bit more about marketing so I can make my other stuff a viable business. Whew! So that's where I've been hiding out. Now, since I figured you guys might want to hear some of that, any of you longtime viewers anyway, it's time to talk about how I'm going to focus my own collecting habits for 2023. Focus really is, that's more accurate. All right, let's talk focus. I have 5 collections I'm focusing on in 2023, and depending on how well Toypixx does, there's 5 more potentially, maybe 6, and then there's Dios. Oh, good Lord. Does anybody else really just need not only like a second bank account, but maybe just to buy a bank so they can store all their action figure money? But hey, I digress. Let's get to those 5. The first one is Mafex Marvel Comics characters. You know me, if you've been watching the channel for any length of time, I loves me my Mafex. Still probably my favorite figures in my collection, though one line is catching up, and I really think it's just going to take some heads and hands to actually make it surpass Mafex, because frankly it's a lot cheaper. So the Mafex Marvel Comics guys and gals, I need them all. And then there's the Mafex DC. Now remember that one of my rules when it comes to any kind of figure collecting is I don't do Elseworlds type stuff, so I don't get anything from Dark Knight Returns, but I will say that the Batman Hush line by Mafex is probably my favorite subline out there. Those figures, beautiful. And when it comes to the pipeline, it looks like when it comes to Marvel and DC, What's left in Mafex that we know about is a Bane, a Nightfall Batman, and a Captain America. So I know I'll be pre-ordering those 3. But beyond that, I don't know. We'll see if Mafex ends up throwing us any more surprises. So there's Mafex Marvel, Mafex DC, and we've got G.I. Joe Classified. Who doesn't love Classified at this point? If you were an 80s kid, or even early 90s kid, or even a kid growing up in the early 2000s, because let's be honest, G.I. Joe hasn't really been gone that long, and it had another smaller run for the 3 3/4 or almost more 4-inch figures in the 25th and POC and 30th and 50th anniversary. I know my G.I. Joe, because I love my G.I. Joe. But that's the line that I'm talking about that could surpass Mafex as my favorite line if they just give them all some more hands and heads, because Lenny and the team over at Hasbro are knocking this line out of the park. They're absolutely crushing it. And then we have Fury Toys. Like, what are they? The Samurai Turtles, I believe, or Samurai Animals. Whatever they're calling them, they're things that I definitely need to keep up on, because those things are freaking amazing. That's going to be a figure, spoiler alert, that spring is going to be in my top 10 figures of the year. I absolutely adore that thing, and something that I'm realizing as I'm starting to refine my collecting even more is that I really like takes on characters that haven't been done already. And Spring is a totally new look, which makes sense because he's a brand new character that nobody's ever heard of at all. And finally, there's the 3-0 Transformers MDLX line. That is my Transformers line. No, they don't transform, but man, are they absolutely stunning. They move like butter. They're a line that I'm going to need to just keep going with. So, that's the focus. Now, fortunately, 3-0 doesn't put out tons of figures when it comes to the MDLX line. Mafex, I just said, doesn't have a lot that I have on pre-order for this year. It's still a pretty penny, but not as much as it could be. And G.I. Joe Classified, they're all about butchering my wallet. Now, when it comes to Fury Toys and the Turtles, those are releasing really slowly, so they're not going to hurt too bad. So, those are my focus. Those are all I'm going to get moving forward. Unless Toypixx starts crushing it. By the way, the pictures I was showing through this, that's what I'm talking about. I've been posting on things like Instagram and Twitter, and also, if you haven't followed Toypixx on Twitter yet, check that out. I've been trying to put up deals I find, and these photos all the way through, and also just thoughts, things that are just easy to throw up on Twitter that are tougher to throw up anywhere else. So subscribe to that. And now, well, let's get to the lines I'm going to go after if Toypixx starts crushing it in 2023. Man, I'm feeling long-winded. Clearly it's been a while since I've done one of these things. Hold on. That was a good idea, because when you're feeling long-winded, you should take even more time by taking a sip of tea. Anyway, here's what I'm going after if Toypixx starts crushing it. Things I'd really like to load up on. Now, first, McFarlane Toys Spawn, and possibly McFarlane Toys TMNT. We'll see how those end up looking. But Spawn, I gotta say, I'm not a big fan, for the most part, of what McFarlane does when it comes to how the action figures turn out. But I'm a big fan of McFarlane himself, so I'm struggling with that. I like his Spawn characters, and the figures are getting better. So I'm thinking, even though they're not 1/12 scale, Spawn's supposed to be a little bigger, so I might be able to squeeze that in. And like I said, when it comes to the Turtles, depending on how they look, depending on how they size with everything else, I might actually go kind of nuts for those. That's kind of exciting news. And then we've got the Maestro Union anthropomorphic animals. These things just look cool. I think the company is Foray Planet, and maybe the brand is Maestro Union. I'm not sure, but the tiger looks awesome. Obviously, we know Crocker's cool. The wolf looks good. I think it's William. I can't remember names. I just know when looking at them, they're really cool. And that Spring has me so excited about any kind of anthropomorphic, am I even saying that right? Animal figures, people, anthropomorphic. Good Lord, I think I'm missing an R. Anyway, it has me so excited about those kinds of figures, I might even branch out and have just this crazy animal-human hybrid collection. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but those are really cool. And then you've got Action Force. I need to be able to get into Action Force a lot more. The reason that other lines beat it out is pure nostalgia. Like, there's nothing else I can say other than nostalgia. But I love what Bobby Bell is doing with Action Force. I think they're great looking figures. I have Duster. I love messing around with Duster. I need more. I do. But that's going to be dependent on how well Toypixx does this year. And then what we've got is Lone Coconuts, Plunderlings, and maybe Plunder Strongs. The Plunder Longs kind of weird me out. I'd probably still go nuts for those, because those figures are just fun figures. I have 3 of the Plunderlings. I keep looking at the Plunder Strongs because I think they look hilarious as well. But I don't know, I've got to get more of those. I think those are absolutely phenomenal figures that just brighten up the collection and add just that touch of goofiness that every collection really needs. And finally, I'm really interested in seeing what Jada Toys is doing this year, particularly their Street Fighter line. I love the look of Chun-Li, I love the look of Ryu, I believe the other guy, Liu Fang. It's been a while since I really played Street Fighter, but I recognize them all. Obviously, I know Ryu, and Chun-Li. Those are just incredible looking figures. I even considered maybe picking up some of the Power Rangers / Street Fighter figures from Hasbro, just so I could do comparisons, but now I think I'll just stick with Jada. Once Toypixx does really awesome. And then, of course, there's dios, there's camera equipment, there's props, there's all kinds of stuff that, it's not really a focus. It starts to branch out and not be so focused, but man, it would sure make life a whole lot cooler when taking pictures of these things. So, whew! Those are the 5 lines I'd get into once Toypixx, or I will get into once Toypixx starts crushing it. Good Lord! I'm out of practice. And that, as they say, is that. Do me a favor and comment below and let me know what figure lines you're planning on focusing on in 2023. It's going to be an exciting year. Obviously, there are surprises like the McFarlane TMNT line, and maybe some other stuff will pop up and you'll be like, oh no, I need to focus on something else. But currently, we all have a pretty good idea, I'd say. By the way, it's been a while. And I appreciate you guys sticking around and waiting for me to post one of these things again. And don't worry, the plan calls for me to not let this happen again. So even if you don't want to, you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of this. My apologies in advance. If this is your first time checking out Toypixx, thank you. I truly appreciate that. There's a lot more videos you can check out to kind of get a feel for me and what the channel's generally about. So, with all that said, and my triumphant return finally upon us all, Lord help you, have fun, and happy snapping. See ya.